Great job by Trista Crick. So you got some gambling options there. Look, it's all leading up to the game on Sunday, all right? I don't feel like the game has a ton of juice to it right now, but like I told you, it's like the dessert. I got a lot planned this weekend. We got games. I don't know what movies we're going to mix in. I know my wife and I, we're going out on Saturday night. That's going to be good. I mean, come on, maybe it ends with some magic in the ZASLOW Mansion master bedroom. I can't predict the future, but then on Sunday, we finish things off with the Super Bowl. There you have it. Hey, before we continue on, again, thanks to Trista Crick. Before we continue on here, guys, I've been telling you about Doctors on Call 365 for a while now, and that's because this is one of my favorite services, all right? If you're not feeling well, you call your doctor, and then they tell you, all right, I know you have a fever right now, but we could see you in about 3 weeks. We don't have any openings until then. No. What if I told you you can be seen by a doctor immediately and they will come to the comfort of your own home? Is that something you'd be interested in? Doctors on Call 365, South Florida's urgent care that comes to you, treating children, adults, the elderly, minor illnesses, minor injuries, IV fluids, vitamin therapy. You could have blood drawn, tests for COVID, flu, strep. Dr. Alon was at my house earlier this week. I called at 8 p.m. My son, we thought he had an ear infection. It was true, and we knew that because an hour later at 9 p.m., he came over to the house, prescribed some amoxicillin. We're good to go. He was better in a couple of days. Doctors on Call 365 is serving all of Broward County, all of Miami-Dade County, Southern Palm Beach as well. It's self-pay right now. You got Medicare acceptance. You got private insurance. That's coming down the line, but you're going to pay less with Doctors on Call 365 to come to your home, your office, wherever you are, than you would pay out of pocket with your copay if you went to the ER or to your local urgent care. Doctors on Call 365.com, 786-577-9302. You will get someone on the phone immediately. 786-577-9302. All right, so we did Zach Thomas, Hall of Fame. We did Panthers. They've won 3 in a row. The Heat get an F at the NBA trade deadline. We spoke to our new friend Trista Crick. We're going to have our pal Joey Levine. He's my co-host for It's Still Real to Me. He's going to come up in a little bit here, and we're going to do a little UFC with him and talk about what can we expect with UFC 287 being announced to come here to Miami. But before we get to that, I mean, we're way into a Friday show here. And you're saying to yourself, you're saying to yourself, ZASLOW, I got to know. Is it a big game? Or is it not a big game? Yes, that's right. Big game or not a big game, it's Friday. You know how we do it. There's so much happening this weekend, you don't know where you're going to go with your time. Well, that's what I'm here to tell you. Big game or not a big game, let's start things off tonight. 8 p.m., Houston Rockets at your Miami Heat. Bally Sports Sun. Your pals are Eric Reed and John Crotty. Eric Reed, the Heat television voice, not the former midday host on 7-9 Ticket. I don't know what he's up to. But tonight, the Heat take on a really bad Houston Rockets team who seemed like they were headed in the right direction earlier in the season. They're a total dumpster fire now. The Heat, though, they're playing some of their best basketball of the year. Bam Adebayo, he has clearly taken another step, and we're just trying to climb in this Eastern Conference. You know, Brooklyn, they won last night after the Kevin Durant trade, but I think you got an opportunity here to jump Brooklyn. I don't think Brooklyn's going to fall off too much. They're 11 games over 500. They're still going to make the playoffs. But Miami's got an opportunity, I think, here, if they stack together some wins, to jump Brooklyn in the standings. Heat, Rockets, hopefully no Kyle Lowry again tonight. They're better off without him. They're much better with Gabe Vincent in the starting lineup. While Gabe Vincent is not necessarily this consistent threat in the starting lineup, at least like every other game, he'll give you 17 like he did a couple nights ago. Lowry gives you nothing. He gives you a turd burger, and then you eat it, and your breath is stank the whole time. That's what Lowry gives you. Rockets at Heat. That's a big game. Yeah, we're trying to climb the standings. I just told you. All right, next up. Saturday, 6 p.m. Bally Sports, Florida. Colorado Avalanche at the Florida Panthers. The Panthers, I love them. I'm my favorite hockey team. They've won 3 in a row for the first time this year. The Avalanche, the defending Cup champions, they finally started to get something going. I think they're 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. The Panthers, they find themselves 1 point back of second wild card, 2 points back of the first wild card. Need to keep stacking together these wins. Can they make it 4 in a row? It has happened before. They've done it before, but not this year. Avalanche at Panthers. That's a big game. That's right, the Panthers are rolling now, so that's a big game. Let's keep it moving here. Saturday night, 7 p.m. Bally Sports Sun. Miami Heat at Orlando Magic. That's right. The Heat, well, they have won tonight and then look to make it back-to-back. It's the second night of a back-to-back. The Orlando Magic are 10 games under 500, but they're playing very good basketball. They're making a push, believe it or not, for one of the play-in spots. The Magic are headed in the right direction. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. This Magic team, I like what they're putting together. This is not a cakewalk game for the Heat tomorrow. You better be ready for this. Who knows who's going to sit? You got to sit, guys. Second, I have a back-to-back. It's a pandemic in this NBA. Or I should say an epidemic in this NBA. Heat at Magic tomorrow night. That's a big game. Back-to-back big games for the Heat. All right. Also Saturday night, 7 p.m., ACC Network. Louisville men's basketball at the number 19 ranked team in the land, your Miami Hurricanes men's basketball team. That's right, the Canes coming off a thrashing earlier in the week over Duke at Watsco Center. Now they host Louisville tomorrow night. The Canes, they're creeping up on number 1 in the ACC, just a half game back. You got a 3-way tie for first place in the ACC, all 10-3, Clemson, Pittsburgh, and number 8, Virginia. The Canes, of course, they have the tiebreak over both Clemson and Virginia. I'm not sure about Pittsburgh off the top of my head, but the Canes are 10-4, a half game back. Louisville, they're the worst team in the ACC, 1-12. So come on, you got to roll through Louisville tomorrow night. I'm going not a big game. The Canes should smash them. So that's not a big game. Do what you're supposed to do. And finally, I got one more for you here. You don't know what's coming, all right? Sunday, 6:30, Fox. Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson on the call. The Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs. The Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are a 1.5-point favorite. You got the Andy Reid Bowl. You got the Kelsey Brothers Bowl. I like the Eagles. I like the Eagles to cover. I think they're going to win this game. Mahomes is clearly not 100%. I think the Eagles are too good. They've been the best team in football, record-wise, pretty much the entire season. I think Andy Reid loses against his former team. Major story. Chiefs and Andy Reid would fall to 1-3. Now, we talked to Evan Cohen the other day. If this is a must-win game, we felt it was more of a must-win for the Chiefs. I think the Eagles win this game. Super Bowl, Chiefs versus Eagles. That's a big game. You didn't know where I was going with that one. That's a big game. And that right there is another edition. The final one involving football this season. A big game or not a big game? Yes. All right. Now, if you don't know, now you know. Now you know what's going on. If you're looking for a place, though, to watch the Super Bowl, you got to figure out, I want somewhere nice. I want somewhere where I can get good drinks. I want somewhere where I can get good food. Everything I just mentioned is Briny Irish Pub, Pompano Beach. Briny Irish Pub, Pompano Beach. That's my spot to watch all the games. If you want live music, every single day at Briny Irish Pub, Pompano Beach. Tonight, matter of fact, you got live music beginning at 4 p.m. And then you got another group out there at 9 p.m. So you got like a twin bill going on tonight at Briny Irish Pub, Pompano Beach. World's greatest upscale dive bar. The Briny Hour, that's happy hour, starts at 4 p.m. That's when the live music gets going tonight on a Friday. You got mahi taco specials. You got fish and chip specials. Barbecue rib specials. How about an assortment of great local craft beer on tap? World's greatest upscale dive bar, Briny Irish Pub, Pompano Beach. Take Atlantic Boulevard all the way to the Atlantic, but don't park in the ocean. Park behind the Briny, because they will validate your tag. Free parking if you park behind the Briny. World's greatest upscale dive bar. That's my spot. Briny Irish Pub, Pompano Beach.